The beautiful island of Maui, a cherished part of the Hawaiian archipelago, experienced a horrific tragedy in August 2023. A raging wildfire swept through the historic town of Lahaina and surrounding areas, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. The wildfire, which claimed the lives of over 100 people, was a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature, exacerbated by human actions and unfortunate circumstances. While the incident has been officially classified as accidental, its origins and the speed at which it spread have left many in shock and disbelief. The firestorm, which ignited in the early morning hours, quickly grew into an inferno, consuming everything in its path. Lahaina, a historic town known for its cultural significance and vibrant community, bore the brunt of the disaster. Homes, businesses, and irreplaceable landmarks were reduced to ashes within hours. The speed and intensity of the fire left many residents with little time to react, leading to a chaotic evacuation and a desperate search for safety. The immediate aftermath of the fire revealed a scene of unimaginable destruction. The once lush landscape was scarred black, with smoldering debris and skeletal remains of buildings serving as grim reminders of the inferno. The air was thick with smoke, making it difficult to breathe, and the stench of burnt wood and melted plastic permeated the area. Emergency responders worked tirelessly to extinguish the remaining embers and search for survivors amidst the rubble. The Maui Wildfire serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of even the most idyllic of places to the forces of nature. It also underscores the crucial need for disaster preparedness, community resilience, and a commitment to addressing the factors that can amplify the impact of such events. As the island community begins the long and arduous process of rebuilding, it is imperative to learn from this tragedy and work towards preventing similar disasters in the future. The origin of the Maui wildfire can be traced back to a series of unfortunate events that unfolded in the early morning hours of August 8th. Investigations by the Maui Fire Department and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives have determined that the fire was sparked by downed power lines owned by Hawaiian Electric, the state's primary electricity provider. The trouble began when strong winds, fueled by a passing hurricane hundreds of miles away, toppled a utility pole in a grassy field near Lahaina. The fallen pole brought down with it live electrical lines, which landed in the dry, overgrown vegetation that had proliferated due to a lack of proper land management. The energized lines ignited the dry grass, sparking a small fire that quickly grew out of control. The initial spark, however, was just the beginning of the chain of events that led to the devastating inferno. According to witnesses and video footage, the downed power lines continued to arc and spark even after the initial ignition, showering the surrounding area with molten metal and further fueling the flames. As the fire grew in size, it consumed more dry grass and brush, creating a larger fuel source that allowed it to spread rapidly. Adding to the danger was the presence of an overhead power line that also fell due to the strong winds. This line, carrying a much higher voltage than the downed distribution lines, landed in the already burning vegetation, creating an even more intense blaze. The combination of dry fuel, strong winds, and energized electrical lines created a perfect storm for a fast-moving and uncontrollable wildfire. In the immediate aftermath of the initial ignition, firefighters responded quickly to the scene and made significant progress in containing the blaze. By midday, they believed they had successfully extinguished the fire, bringing a sense of relief to the community. However, this sense of security proved to be tragically short-lived. Unbeknownst to the firefighters, smoldering embers remained hidden beneath the surface of the seemingly extinguished fire. These embers, fueled by the dry conditions and fanned by the persistent winds, reignited the blaze in the early afternoon, sparking a second, far more destructive phase of the wildfire. The reignition occurred in an area that was more densely populated and closer to the heart of Lahaina. The wind, which had shifted direction during the day, now carried the flames towards the town, pushing the fire across a major highway that served as a firebreak and into residential neighborhoods. The speed at which the fire spread in this second phase was staggering. Eyewitnesses described walls of flames advancing rapidly through the dry grass and brush, consuming homes and businesses in a matter of minutes. The suddenness and ferocity of the fire's resurgence left many residents with little time to react, leading to a chaotic evacuation as flames closed in from all sides. While the downed power lines served as the initial spark of the Maui wildfire, it was the powerful winds that transformed a relatively small brush fire into an uncontrollable inferno. The winds, fueled by a high-pressure system north of Hawaii and a hurricane churning hundreds of miles away, created what meteorologists call a fire weather scenario, with low humidity and strong gusts that whipped the flames into a frenzy. These winds, gusting up to 60 miles per hour at their peak, acted like a bellows, supplying the fire with a constant stream of oxygen and propelling it across the dry landscape at an alarming rate. The wind also carried burning embers far ahead of the main fire front, igniting spot fires that quickly coalesced into a massive wall of flames. The topography of West Maui also played a role in intensifying the fire's spread. The region's steep slopes and narrow valleys created a chimney effect, funneling the wind upwards and accelerating the fire's movement. As the fire climbed uphill, it preheated the vegetation above, making it even more susceptible to ignition and creating a domino effect that allowed the inferno to race across the landscape.